following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
How are y'all doing today? This is actually, for me, it's Wednesday. Of course, all of you are going to see this on Thursday, but much like all of you, I want to be in a food coma sitting on a couch tomorrow around this time. So nobody should be working on Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. So I tried to look. I see Wednesdays are rough on me. I look rough. I look like I ain't even combed my beard or nothing. I look bad today, but it's all right. We're going to do our show. We're going to talk Tennessee, South Carolina. That's the first thing we're going to go over. Obviously not a very good result, but we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the Titans. Offense looked fun last Thursday, but we're going to go through all that. And then the third take, which y'all seen this before, I like to talk sporting video games. We're going to do that again today. There was some big news about the new EA Sports college football game coming out. So we're going to talk about that. And then let's see, high school football. Of course, that's the final take, as per usual. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we're going to start with Tennessee, South Carolina. And I don't know if y'all can see it. My little brother got me a Feels Like 98 shirt. Regardless of how last Saturday happened, I did want to give him a shout out. This is a comfortable shirt. I've already got some chocolate on it from a Subway cookie, but I did want to say thanks. I hope Noah gets to watch, but he got me the shirt. But, man, that game Saturday, that was bad. That was really, really bad. I want to say I think Tennessee kind of just expected South Carolina to roll over. That's not what the Gamecocks did at all. In fact, they put up 63 points, I think, which I'm not really surprised about. It's not like Tennessee's defense was great. It's just usually they get up on teams and then they make it really hard to come back. But South Carolina did not roll over, and I kind of think that's what Tennessee expected. Also, there are rumors of a fight that happened in the locker room before the game, or before the flight even to South Carolina. There was apparently there was an issue between Jeremy Banks and Hendon Hooker, and then Joe Milton stepped in. That's all hearsay. Of course, Banks, he put on his Instagram story that there wasn't a conflict. And, I mean, he should say that, whether there was or wasn't. I mean, he's trying to make himself look better. But I'm not really here to talk about the fight or whatever's happening in the locker room. I feel like if you put 100 college kids together, you're going to have a few incidents here and there throughout the course of a season. You want everybody to be kumbaya, but I'm just telling you that's not how college kids work. It's not how high school kids work either. But I don't really know what happened, so I can't speak on that. But I watched the game, about 53 minutes of it. I think I left. I usually go watch the game with my biological dad and my little brothers, and I went over there to go watch the game, and I left with about 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I was disgusted, as I think most Tennessee fans were. But crap happens, and that's what I'm gonna count that as. Now, Tennessee, here's the thing. I know that they really wanted to get into the playoffs. I think the loss to South Carolina pretty much ends all of that talk. I don't think Tennessee was on the level with Georgia or maybe even Ohio State. But I wanted to see them play Ohio State. Probably not going to get that now. The only bad thing is I don't understand how a 2-loss Alabama or a 2-loss LSU should be ahead of a 2-loss Tennessee when Tennessee beat both of them. The CFP rankings have not been very they don't give me a lot of faith in those people to make the decisions about who the best 4 teams are. But we'll find out more as the season goes on. I'm pretty sure Tennessee's national championship hopes are over unless a bunch of weird things happen, but those usually don't happen. But that game was really, really bad. And the one thing I really did want to talk about this for a minute anyway. Hendon Hooker's injury is heartbreaking. and not just in the fact that he's Tennessee's quarterback and he's hurt, he's out for the season. I think Milton's a fairly decent quarterback. If he's halfway accurate, he's going to be nuts in the offense. I'm not worried about the production of the offense or any of that. I genuinely feel really bad for Hendon Hooker, and I think fans of most teams do. I've seen Georgia fans and Arkansas fans and Florida fans, maybe not Florida fans, but I've seen fans of other teams that on Twitter and other stuff like that, and they've said they feel bad for the kid. They don't feel bad for Tennessee fans, and I don't think I really blame them, but they feel bad for Hendon, and I do too. Usually people have storylines and people have things, karma. I don't know if karma's real. I don't think jinxes are real. I guess that, whatever you do in your entire life don't really add up to anything, because Hendon Hooker's just done everything that he was supposed to do. And he's been a model student, a model athlete. He goes out there every day, he gives everything for his team. And then I don't think he was going to have an NFL career. I don't believe he's accurate enough. I know his accuracy's crazy. The numbers are high, but then again, he's throwing to dudes that are like in their own zip code. But I don't think Hendon Hooker was going to be a good NFL quarterback, but he deserved the opportunity to prove me and a lot of other people wrong. He deserved the opportunity to go to the NFL. And now, with this kind of injury, I think he is still going to get a chance at some point, but it's not the same kind of chance he was going to get. I don't understand why something like that happens to a good person. I think Hendon Hooker is genuinely a good person. I'm sitting here, I'm willing to admit that I'm probably not. But he's written children's books. He's done a lot of things for the community. And I don't personally understand how karma, whatever you want to call it, I don't think he deserved what happened to him. And I genuinely feel awful for him, because he deserved better than that. And he played pretty well Saturday. I think he threw for like 270 and 3 touchdowns, 16 of 20 passing or something like that. I may have made up the 16 of 20. I don't know. But his numbers were kind of average with what he's done all year long. It was just, one bad step on a pretty rough field. And to the one guy, I did want to say this, one more thing about the injury. There was one man that I saw on Twitter, and of course, in his Twitter bio, he had a follower of Christ and counselor and mental health, and talked about, all these things about how he's trying to be a good person or whatever. And he tweeted out that he hoped a Tennessee player had a Marshawn Lattimore-like injury. So shout out to that guy. You got your wish. But I feel bad for Hendon. And wishing injury on any of these players is just ignorance and stupidity. None of these kids deserve that. Some of them may be real idiots and act a fool, but they don't deserve injuries on the football field. But Tennessee played really, really bad. But that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to do our DMA read. I still don't have this thing memorized. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I guess I just watched Tennessee on Saturdays, nothing else. But Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. We're going to go to a commercial and come right back.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our #1 priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
All right. Now, of course, the second take that I wanted to talk about, as it usually is Titans football. And I'm sure most of you, hopefully, you watched my show last Tuesday. I'll get the day right, I promise. Hopefully, you watched my show last Thursday, and then you got to watch the Tennessee Titans game. Titans offense looked really good. Defense played pretty well against Aaron Rodgers, especially for missing a few key pieces. Mike Vrabel is a miracle worker. I almost said miracle, I guess, trying to add words together. I don't know why I can't speak. I was fine until approximately 20 seconds ago. But Mike Vrabel is a miracle worker. He gets this group ready to play every week, and it doesn't matter who they're playing, except for that Buffalo game earlier in the year. I don't really know what happened there. I ran into a buzzsaw, I guess. But man, I keep replaying the video of Treylon Burks, not the first catch that he made earlier in the game, but the one he made late in the game to kind of seal the time away. Titans were up 10. They pretty much had it anyway, but it was to seal the game completely. And he beat Jair Alexander, and when he got up, he did the your little thing, with the new little celebration that we got. Oh, hey, fantasy football news: Jamar Chase is expected to play in Week 12 against the Titans. Great. Wonderful. We don't have Deion Sanders, so hopefully we can figure out a way to cover him. But a little bit of breaking fantasy news for y'all. Of course, you're not going to get this until 24 hours from now, so hopefully you already knew. Justin just sent me a message. He's on my fantasy team. Bittersweet moment. Justin, I have 4 fantasy teams. He's on 3 of them, so it's very bitter but very sweet. I'm trying to win some money, so the Titans, Jair Alexander, I'm still stuck on that play. Burks beat Jair Alexander. That was huge. And Alexander's one of the best one-on-one cover guys in the entire NFL. If Burks can play half as good as he played last week and the Titans have somewhat of a passing offense, I'm just telling you. Especially if, now Todd Downing, of course, going out and getting a DUI the next day is peak Titans. I mean, that doesn't usually happen. I'm not saying that's a thing that happens a lot, but it just feels like, oh, great, we're going in the right direction. Let's shoot ourselves in the foot. And we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot with a paintball gun. We shot ourselves in the foot with a 12 gauge because he might get fired. But then again, I've been asking for him to get fired, so who knows what's going to be good, what's going to be bad. I guess his play calling is kind of like, I don't know, kind of like my dad when he's drinking. You don't know what you're going to get. But Titans look really, really good. So I'm really – that was exciting to watch. It was fun to watch. That type of Titans team kind of makes me think, like, that's the type of team that can go into a hostile environment in the playoffs and win. I'm not sure if they can win at Nissan Stadium in a playoff game, but I feel like they can go into I think they can win at Nissan, but I think they can go into a hostile environment. I think they can win with that type of offense. I don't know if the Titans threw the ball to Jeff Swaim or not, but I know that they threw the ball to Chiggy and Austin Hooper. And thank you, God, finally getting to watch athletes that can catch and run forward with the ball at tight end instead of throwing it to Jeff Swaim. Jeff Swaim is a great tight end. He's a better tight end than I am, sports reporter. But he's in the NFL. He's not great at catching. He's great at blocking. Use him for that. Dontrell Hilliard, again, caught a little angle pass out of the backfield. I don't understand why that guy doesn't touch the ball 10, 15 times a game. He's very quick. He's agile, talented. Use the athletes you got. They finally did it. Had a nice offensive performance. Thank God they kicked Josh Lambo off the team. He missed one of his 4 extra points. I never have liked Josh Lambo. I'm just glad we don't have to deal with him either. So we're going to see what happens with Downing on the DUI. Somebody just fired one of their assistant coaches for God knows what. I can't remember if it was Falcons or somebody else, but they just woke up one day and decided to fire him. Obviously something happened, but the news on that hadn't gotten out yet, so I don't know. But we're going to see what happens with Downing. If he keeps his job, I'd like to see him keep this aggressiveness going forward with the offense. I know Henry only had 80-something yards, but if he's running for 3.5 yards a clip, it's important to be able to throw the ball. So, excuse me. That's all I had for the Titans. we're good on that. Now we're going to go to the third take. Sorry, I don't know why I ain't eat or drink nothing this morning. So we're going to go to the third take. Third take is going to be NCAA EA Sports football. Now, just to backtrack and make sure everybody knows exactly where we're at. Those of you that are even remotely fans of the video game series that hasn't been out in 10 years, there is a new game in development. I think it's in pre-production is what EA Sports said yesterday. I had hoped and prayed to God himself that we were going to get this game in the upcoming July, but EA Sports announced that it has been pushed back. And that's okay because I'm used to EA Sports breaking my heart with ridiculous things that they do all the time. So I'm not really all that upset about it. But this college football video game was one of the few things keeping me going. Now I have to wait another 12 months to get it. I am really upset about it. But the one saving grace with the whole issue is the fact that hopefully, and I have more faith in Mexican tap water than EA Sports. But hopefully they're pushing it back so they can make sure the game is correct. The game is well done. There's not a whole lot of bugs. There's going to be bugs because there's bugs in everything. There's glitches and everything. But if they can make it polished, they can give me the dynasty mode that game deserves, a road to glory mode that the game deserves. If they're pushing it back and it's as good as 14 was, I can deal with waiting. But if they push it back and it's a Madden clone, I am going to Maitland, Florida, where they build this game, and I'm going to go protest. I'm not kidding. I've actually spent a little bit of time over the past few days. My little brother Noah, the one that got me the shirt, he's out of town. His girlfriend's from Oklahoma. I think that's where they went for Thanksgiving. So hopefully they've had a safe trip down there, but hopefully they're having fun. But while they're gone, I've been staying at their house with Chase, our other brother, the younger brother. And Chase has been playing NCAA 14, and I'll sit there and watch him late at night before he goes. You know, he'll go to bed, and I'll sit there and we'll hang out, and I'll watch him play some video games. But and then I usually play after he hands me the controller and goes away. But NCAA 14 is one of the greatest games ever made. One of the greatest football games, video games in general, ever made. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a sports fan. I'm saying that because it is legitimately one of the best video games that has ever been made. And if this new game is at least somewhat good, I'm going to freak out. I'm going to have a stroke, and I'm going to go to Maitland, Florida. I'm going to throw a fit. I'm going to act like one of those little idiots you see on television. I'm going to throw an absolute hissy fit. But it's been pushed back. Again, like I said, the one thing that makes me okay with the whole situation is the fact that they better be making this game perfect. EA Sports also came out and said a few other things, which is a lot of information that we already knew. They're going to try and have all the FBS teams. They're going to try and get all the FCS teams, all of the HBCUs. I got something on my hand. They're going to try and get all the teams. They're going to try and get uniforms. The name, image, and likeness of the players is one thing that's making it really difficult right now because they're trying to figure out a way to pay all the players for being in the game. Some are obviously going to get paid a little bit more than others. I think you should just give every one of the players a copy of the game and then, you know, a little cash stipend or whatever you want. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the major news is the fact that it's been pushed back. I wanted to bring that up. It may not be important news to you, but it is probably the most important thing that happened to me yesterday in the news video game world anyway. But I hate to see this been pushed back. I had several people reach out to me when the news dropped that EA Sports was going to push it back. I think Bleacher Report sent out a tweet, not last night, but the night before. They sent out a tweet saying that EA Sports was going to announce this. I had some friends send it. This is a massive video game, and it's a big event because Madden has been really bad, and so a lot of people are still playing the old video games. But growing up, every person that I know played those games in some capacity. I played them religiously. And I mean hours a day, 4 to 6 hours every day that I put into this video game, at least. And you have to remember, I'm single, have no kids. Other than covering sports and coaching a bowling team, I don't have, little kids running around to deal with. I don't have a lot of nonsense I got to mess with. So I'm able to do the important things like recruit and build good football teams on a video game that's 10 years old. But a lot of my friends are the same way. And I mean, a lot of people that you may know, they played this game growing up and they were ready for it. But we have to wait a whole nother year. So it's like another 18 months until it comes out. I got to make sure I don't screw around and have a kid or get married in between now and then. Because if I have to not play this video game because of a honeymoon or to change a diaper or something, I might go insane. I got to have this video game in my life. But that's about all I've got to say for that. We're going to do one more commercial, and then when y'all get back, we're going to do another DMA read, and then we're going to talk high school sports. Got a lot of high school sports going on. Basketball just started up. So let's go ahead and let's hit the commercial real quick, and y'all make sure and hang out and come back.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates. We specialize in what moves you.
Thanks for staying through the commercial. And, of course, Casey's Take brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. Now, throughout the next week, since we do have a little bit of free time, I may try and actually memorize that. I say that out loud. It's not going to happen. I'll try though. I'm also looking into buying some more equipment so I can actually do this video with my phone. And I've got one of the new iPhones, so I'm thinking the video may actually be better. Not that I'm going to look any better, but it may be a little bit clearer. So hopefully I can get the right cords and stuff to run everything that way. But we'll see all that next week on the next show. I got them on Amazon, so I've got some cords coming, like I said. So we'll see how next week goes. But last take, high school sports. Let's see. Oh, Dixon and Cheatham basketball started last week. Friday night, I went to the Creekwood Cheatham game, which is always fun. You got a bunch of kids that know each other, a bunch of families that know each other. These people, they're really close between Ashland City and Charlotte. The only thing in between them is Highway 250, and I hate that godforsaken road, twisty and turny. You lose cell service. I have to take it 2 or 3 times a week to get out to Cheatham. But regardless, it's not a whole lot of space in between those two areas. So these people really know each other. You've got a lot of families that maybe live one place and go to the other or whatever. So that's always a big game and one of my favorite games to go to. And of course, last Tuesday I was at Dixon's season opener. They hosted Clarksville on Tuesday, and then Friday night was the Creekwood Cheatham game. They split Creekwood's girls, who are back-to-back state tournament appearance team with Laura Nichols and Brianna Burgess at seniors. They were able to get the win. Alicia Nesbitt led the team in points. She's done that, I think, 2 games already so far this season. So not just the seniors running that Creekwood team, but the Cheatham boys were able to beat Creekwood's boys. Creekwood's boys are still I think they're waiting on a they have one young man that may be available after Christmas break, Clint Morgan. He hurt his knee way earlier this year, I think, at the beginning of football. But when he gets back, I think they're going to be a little bit more settled on the court. But Jamison Ford scored 20 points. Carter Thompson had 18. I got that backwards in the paper. I guess the scorebook I had must have been wrong or something. But Jamison and Carter, who have played together for a long time, and I've known Carter. I dated his aunt. So I've known Carter for a long time. I've known his family for a long time. But it's fun to see him, taller kid down low, kind of working against his opponent, getting some shots up. But Cheatham, man, they're nasty. Those boys they're good. Maverick Lee had 27. Tucker Carter had 23. Siler White playing point guard. I think he had 14 points. Ethan Harris had 11. Maybe they both had 11. I can't remember exactly. But Cheatham's offense is nutty good, especially with the boys. The girls are going to be good because Jim Gibbs is one of the best coaches in the state, and he always coaches a really hard-playing team that plays great defense. So they give themselves a chance to win every game just because of the way they play and the defense that they play. But Coach Nicholson, he's got a group. He's got some kids that they might make some noise. Maverick, he had a putback dunk, and I thought the top was going to explode off of Pat Summit Gym out there in Ashland City. Pat Head Summit Gym, excuse me. But Tucker Carter knocking out threes. Like I said, Cheatham's really good. Harpeth had a really slow start to the season. I know they did not play as well as they wanted to. Sycamore came out and they lost they lost the season opener to Springfield. But since then, I think they've kind of gotten over those first game jitters. They've still got a few things to work through, but the Sycamore girls are going to be really good. The boys, I hope to really see the Sycamore boys really see them start to take a few steps forward this year. I know last year was rough for them, but they've got a pretty good they got pretty good team chemistry, a good vibe. I like Coach Fisher Bailey, so it's going to be neat to see where they go. The girls, the Lady War Eagles, are going to be good. They beat Hume-Fogg last night like 59-9. And Cheatham beat them last week, I want to say 64-20 something. But a lot of basketball going on. Let's see, Dixon. What did Dixon do? I want to say Dixon got swept last night against the Clarksville team. I can't remember. It's hard to keep up with everything. But as far as bowling, our Creekwood bowling team is still undefeated. We traveled to Tullahoma the other day. We went to Tullahoma in their house. It's a really well-known program. Their boys pushed us all the way as far as we could go, and our boys bowled the best that they've bowled all year. We shot 2,300. It's the first time we've shot at least 2,300 in pins, but we only beat them like 14-9, which I know is a 5-point difference. But you're talking about a swing of just a few pins here and there because of bonus pins. It's hard to explain, but it was very, very tight. There was even one point where we were up by 3 pins and tied points-wise. So, and that was like halfway through the match. So it was tight the entire time, but it was cool to see my boys kind of get going. And also the girls bowled last week on Friday for the state individual qualifier. Gabby Mann finished first. And I know that kid, she's basically my niece, even though she's just a family friend. I've grown up, she's grown up around me. I've known her forever. She did not bowl good last Friday, and she qualified first by 50 pins. So good for her. And that's what I told her. I said, Gabby, she's got a lot of confidence issues. I said, Gabby, do you know how good you have to be to bowl like crap and beat everybody by 50 pins? And she kind of smiled. So hopefully she can build some confidence with that. Mulaney Blaylock, she bowled pretty good. She finished third. Kylie Wright, I think, finished 8th or 9th. She's qualified. And Lauren Broom, our last senior, she actually qualified as well, which is awesome too. Dixon County had 3 girls qualify. Emily Fuller, the Ellison girl, Eliza Ellison, I almost forgot her first name, I'm sorry, and Katie Madden. They all bowled really well. I want to say Eliza Ellison was a high qualifier for them. But that's all we got. Wrestling starting up. I'll have some news for y'all about wrestling next week. But y'all, thanks for hanging out with me. Go have a good turkey day. Have your food coma, go to sleep, whatever. Take you a nap. Watch some football tomorrow night. It'll be later tonight when you watch this. So, y'all, thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see y'all next week.